everyone, Rabbi Eve here with another edition of What the Heck is It Holiday? I am so excited that Pesach, or Passover, is finally coming. Passover is the spring holiday that we celebrate on the 15th day of the Hebrew month of Nisan. That's the day that the Torah says the Israelites were finally able to leave Egypt. You probably know the story of the Exodus. You've seen the Ten Commandments.
Let my people go.
The Israelites were leaving Egypt. Pharaoh says no. They send 10 plagues. Finally, the Israelites are able to leave and become free. They were in a rush. That's how we get all of our rituals. So Pesach in Hebrew, Passover in English, actually means to pass over, because during the 10th plague, the slaying of the firstborn Egyptians, God passed over the houses of the Israelites. So that's how the holiday gets its name. It's also called Chag HaAviv, the holiday of the spring, because it's a springtime holiday. So it's this retelling of our exodus from Egypt and a holiday that reminds us of where we were and where we're going. So how do we celebrate the holiday? Most important in the holiday is that we don't eat things called CHAMETZ. CHAMETZ are leavened products like breads and cereals, anything that rises. So you start preparing for the holiday by searching your house for the CHAMETZ. And we do that with this cool tradition. You take a feather, you take a spoon, you search your house, you find the crumbs, you put them on the spoon, you carefully carry the spoon to somewhere that will not burn, and then you burn your CHAMETZ you search with the candle, and then you burn your CHAMETZ with the matches. So basically you are ridding your house really by vacuuming and symbolically by this procedure of any leavened product. That's how you prepare. Next, you get to the holiday itself. Passover is celebrated with a SEDER. SEDER means order, and the SEDER is the holiday meal. Now, this is not just your average meal. This is a full-on adventure. There's a special book that we use called a HAGGADAH. HAGGADAH is the Hebrew word for telling, because this book tells the story, and there are so many different versions of the HAGGADAH. So you could pick your family favorite. We tell this story by, in certain sense, reenacting the Exodus on one hand, and on the other hand, by learning about what happened to our ancestors and how we can prevent that from happening in the world again. The Seder has 15 steps, 4 glasses of wine, 1 question with 4 observations. That's called the 4 questions. Surprise, they're not all really questions. And then there's the cup of Elijah, there's a lot of songs, and the telling of the story. Passover is brilliant because the Seder is actually an educational experience on its own, geared towards learners of every age and stage. One of the essential parts of the Seder is the telling of the 10 plagues, and some people act that out with fun little puppets. So you can see the 10 plagues, which we have in the Torah story, are also an essential part. And actually, we take out a drop of our own wine for each plague to lessen the joy that we feel from our freedom, knowing that the Egyptians were endangered and other people still are not free as well. So how do we get through the Seder? We have something called the Seder plate. And this is an example of a Seder plate. Again, these also come in all shapes and sizes. And each of the elements on the Seder plate is symbolic of a part of the story. So you've got the zroah, which is the shank bone. That's a lamb shank that you roast because the Passover sacrifice in the Torah was a lamb. You've got the maror. Maror means bitter. That's the bitter herb, usually horseradish, because it was bitter to be enslaved. The symbol of beitzah, which is a roasted egg. There's 2 reasons for that. One is the Mishnah says you need 2 roasted items on the table. The other is that egg is a symbol of spring and rebirth. And since this is the holiday of spring and rebirth, you put an egg on the Seder plate. Next comes karpas. Karpas is the green vegetable. Again, a symbol of spring. And then you also would have something called charoset. Charoset is an admixture of apples and cinnamon, nutmeg, spices, wine. Some people put dates, some people put raisins. It's meant to symbolize the mortar of the bricks if the Israelites had built the pyramids while they were enslaved. So that's our Seder plate. And you use this to to tell the story as you work through the Seder. Passover lasts 7 days in Israel, 8 days in the diaspora. During those 8 days, you don't eat leavened products, no CHAMETZ, and you're not supposed to find it in your house either. So for me, it always reminds me of the time where it's the only time of year my mom actually baked from scratch. So that's really a good thing. Not good for my waistline, but good for my tummy and my heart and my memories. That's Passover in a nutshell. It is a holiday of freedom, rebirth, and renewal, and filled with the hope that this year we are here, and next year our world will be a better, more free place. Chag Sameach!